Hello guys, welcome to Effervescent Sounds. This is a place for you to discover emerging artists that are making a buzz here in London. I am Matheus Piovesan, your host, and today's episode is all about synthesizers, the 80s, queerness, and the sense of belonging to a community. Our guest today is Rhumba Club.
Hey.
An artist that started as a club night in Hackney, East London, and since then have been releasing banger after banger. It's synth pop, so it makes you want to dance, but also has some provocative lyrics. And his lyrics addresses topics like social media, phone addiction, being gay, and many more topics. Welcome to the show, Rhumba Club.
Hello, hey, can I just be clear? It's phone addiction, not porn addiction.
Oh,
That's what it sounded like slightly, just to be clear. Anyway,
oh, okay. Yeah. Very good. Like, thank you for clarifying that. I think now we can start the show. So to start the show, I have some warm-up questions, and they are going to be all about the 80s because it's that decade that you recreate sonically. Okay?
Okay.
Let's start. An all-time 80s tune.
For me,
Yeah?
A Little Respect by Erasure.
Sweet. Someone that really is an 80s ambassador that truly represents that decade.
Annie Lennox. Eurythmics. Annie Lennox, yeah.
Sweet. A movie from the 80s that you adore.
Teenage Werewolf in London.
Sweet. I don't know this one, but fine by me. Maybe I'll need to do some research a little bit more. A fashion trend from the 80s that you would love to come back immediately.
Shoulder pads.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
shoulder pads,
I bought a blouse with shoulder pads. I'm like, woo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone should be in shoulder pads again.
A video game from the 80s?
Oh, Tetris.
Yes.
Tetris, yeah.
Yeah, Tetris, Pac-Man, like all
the classics.
yeah, all the classics, yeah. So I started with some like silly questions about the 80s, but actually you were born on the 90s, yeah?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Just in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And I want to know, why have you fallen in love so much with the 80s? What does that decade has for you that truly inspire you?
So I think there's a number of things. I think it was such a significant moment in queer culture all over the world. Obviously with the AIDS crisis, but also there was a kind of a new awakening in, you know, what we used to call gender bending. So I think it was a period of great change, and that our culture started to reanalyze its relationship with gender in another fresh way, a bit like it is now again. But I think it was just a really important time.
Fair enough. And so you're trying to recreate that and put some like updating it a little bit, but also bringing that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the reasons I like it, because there is that sense even in the most poppy of the 80s music, there is that sense of camp revolution in it all the time. So that makes that's one of the reasons it means a lot to me. I think also, you know, that was the era of where electronic music really became mainstream, and I think that was really important. I love electronic music. I love synthesizers. I love old school dance music. I love drum machines. And it's left its mark on music ever since. So how can we not love that?
Fair enough. It's very, I don't know, like it's kind of like addictive. Like I see it's like, it's tacky, but it's cool as well. It's all at the same time.
It's beautiful. It's like a revolution, a musical revolution and a queer revolution.
Yes. So for those who don't know your music yet, can you find some 3 artists that are similar to you, that people nowadays can like, oh, I can relate with this and that artist?
Current artists. So my biggest influences now, let's put it this way, are people like Perfume Genius, Dev Hynes, and Christine the Queens.
Really good. And if you go back, rewind a little bit, go back in time a little bit, who would be your biggest influences?
So for Rhumba Club specifically, there was a band called the Blow Monkeys who made a huge impact on me. They had a few like really good hits. They weren't, they weren't Wham level or anything like that, but they had a few great hits. Also David Bowie, everything about. I mean, it's a cliche to say, but I just loved the spirit of him. One of the things I wish I could achieve is the level of change and the bravery that David Bowie had. And he failed sometimes as well. People don't talk about that now, but he did make some dodgy maneuvers. But I feel like I wish I had that bravery. That's what I'd love to be able to achieve.
So after releasing a lot of singles during the past 4 years, you're finally releasing your debut album, Welcome to the Club.
Welcome to the club, yeah.
And I want to know what this record is all about and how was the process of like finding the songs to make the cut and to be on the track list?
Initially, I wanted to do a more conceptual album. So sound like such a moron saying that, but I wanted to do something that was quite considered and a body of work all of itself. And then I sat down with my management, and they were like, "We just think you should put out your 10 best songs. just put them out like a CV." And so I thought, right, okay, if that's the way we're going to have to go, if I'm going to have to sort of not sell out, but produce something that, for a debut album that feels like a summary of what the Rhumba Club is about, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to say exactly what it is, which is a welcome to the Rhumba Club. So it's basically what I think are my 10 best songs that I've written in the last couple of years.
So far, yeah?
So far, baby.
Very good. So one of these tracks that is featured in the album is called Conversion. And I want to know what this track is all about.
It's about conversion therapy, which still goes on for not just gay, but other queer people and people who don't exist within the gender binary or trans people, where, people whose sexual identity or their gender identity doesn't fit normally what is prescribed by their religion, normally religion. And still to this day, in the UK, people are, through various means, they're forced out of their natural state, which I think is abhorrent. And I can't believe it's still legal. But ultimately, they're trying to change people from being who they are, fundamentally who they are. And I'm very angry about that. So I wrote a tune about it.
You did a soundtrack for Fendi campaign, and you also wear underwear Calvin Klein for... Yes, that's that pictures. If you want to like search on Google, you can find him just wearing underwear in case you want it, okay?
My proudest moment.
And I want to know how fashion is important for you in your way of not just to present yourself, but like to bring the message that you want to the world.
I would say fashion is less important to me than style, if that means anything. And so a sense of individual style, self-expression, irrespective, fashion may be a part of that, but it might not be. So that's what's more important to me. And I think that kind of goes to the heart of what Rhumba Club is trying to do, to make sure people feel as comfortable as they can in their own skin.
So now I have another round of questions, of quick-fire questions, and they are themed as well. It's going to be LGBTQ plus questions, and I want you to just answer me with queer options. Yeah, with queer artists or songs.
Yep.
Okay. So a song that makes you run to the dance floor.
Freedom, George Michael.
the biggest gay anthem ever.
I've said it before, A Little Respect, Erasure for me.
A queer artist with the best lyrics.
Morrissey.
An album to listen to when you're drinking cocktails.
Club Tropicana, Wham.
Good one. And best queer artist nowadays.
Dev Hynes, Blood Orange.
Sweet. Good option as well. Thank you. And now it's a moment that I love in the show. Since the name of the show is called Effervescent Sounds, and we are here to support emerging talents, I want you to tell me one artist that is making a buzz and that you want more spotlight on day.
Silver Twin.
Do you want to talk more about Silver Twin?
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with Silver Twin. They are a band in the most traditional sense. They are hitting a mark, I believe, which no one else is, or at least very few people are, and which is kind of this, I don't know, late 60s to mid 70s kind of throwback feel. But I think they're not just referential. I think they've got more than that. I think they're really special, and I think they're the tightest band I've ever seen live.
Amazing. I've seen them once. I think, yeah, it was once. And it was quite good. Like, gave me a lot of, like, some Beatles vibe as well.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Which was kind of like, oh, gosh. Like, this
I just think they're brilliant. I'm obsessed. I've been to, like, 5 of their shows. It's so good.
Rhumba Club, for those who enjoyed your performance and want to follow you on social media. Can you give us all the handles?
Instagram @Rhumba Club, Twitter @It's Rhumba Club, Facebook.com/It's Rhumba Club, TikTok @Rhumba Club, www.rumbaclub.co.uk.
Okay, plugging himself. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
To have you in the show. It was a pleasure. It was very fun. And it's nice. I'm so excited for you and your debut album. Finally out.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you next time, guys. Thank you very much for watching us.